أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are going to start our lesson today with our opening prayer. So I'm going to select A5127, if you can read the prayer. Assalamu alaikum, A5127. A5127, are you there? Okay, let's try A5161. Assalamu alaikum, A5161. Assalamu alaikum. Is that A5161?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Could you please read the prayer that's highlighted just over here?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا.
Jazakallah. And if you can read the translation, please.
O Allah, I ask you for beneficial knowledge.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you very much. That was well read. What we'll do is I'm very quickly just going to go through the guidelines that we occasionally go through at the start of our lessons, just to remind us of what's expected of all of us in the classroom. So please remember, before every session, remember to make sure that you've performed wuzu, make sure that your head is covered, and please make sure that you have an adult sitting with you so that you're supervised throughout the whole lesson. Please also make sure that your audio and video is off, and also there are, I think, just one person that has added their personal name, so if you can just take that out. Your ID is sufficient. With your Atfal or Nasirat, it's just that 4-digit after the letter A or N. We don't need your personal name, so please remove them from your screen name. And also just remember, listen attentively to the class, even if you don't have the microphone. Because we have so many students, it's difficult to give the mic to everybody. So we try to give everyone a fair opportunity. So please do be patient. And even if you aren't given the mic for that particular lesson, just make sure that you are listening carefully to what's being taught. And also another request is please keep your hands down unless you've been asked to raise them. So it becomes quite confusing if there are so many hands up. If someone has a genuine question, we can't always tell. So please keep them down unless you have something that you need to ask. And also at the end of the lesson, please remember that we conclude with the final prayer. So no students should be leaving until we've concluded with that prayer and you've been given permission to leave the classroom. And finally, as usual, please make sure that you're revising your lessons. And if you're assigned homework on a particular day, please make sure that you do complete it. So that was just a very quick reminder. We will bring it up every now and again, just so we can remember what standards are expected of us on this course. So what we'll do is we will continue with our lessons. So I believe that you're doing lesson number 1, which is 20 common errors in Tilawat. And yesterday's teacher has asked me to just review this rule over here. I think she had some technical problems, so she couldn't go through with it fully. So this rule over here is basically saying, this is rule number 18 of the 20 most common errors in Tilawat. And it says, do not split a word and start in the middle because of a correction or shortness of breath. So, for example, if you realize you make a mistake, say you make a mistake in the middle of this word, it's better for you to go back and reread the entire word than, for example, to make a mistake here and just read the rest of the word. So it's good etiquette to go back and read the entire word mentioned in the Holy Quran. It's quite a straightforward rule, but sometimes we can forget this, so just please be mindful of that. The second instance was if your breath breaks. So if you're reading a particularly long verse just be careful. Sometimes it's hard to hold your breath to the end of the verse. So just try to read the complete word. If you can't read the whole verse in one breath, at least try to read the complete word. If your breath does break, please remember to go back and read the entire word. So I'll just give you an example. So for example, here, if I say for whatever reason I stopped over here for asqay, it would be incorrect of me to just carry on and read nakumuhu. So the best thing would be to go back and read the whole word as فَأَسْقَيْنَاكُمُوهُ rather than breaking in the middle. Again, in the same example, if I stopped, say, over here at na, فَحَاسَبْنَا, and then I read ha, again, that would be incorrect. So go back and read the entire word or phrase again. فَحَاسَبْنَاهَا, so reading it all in one breath. And in the final example, if I stopped here, for example, askinu, and then I read hunna, askinu, hunna. Again, best practice is to go back and read the whole word. So askinu hunna. I hope that's quite straightforward. We will pay attention to this particular rule when we do our recitation practice towards the end of the lesson, but I just very quickly wanted to mention this because it's something that happens very commonly, and it's something that we can sometimes forget. So I hope you've understood that. Can I get a show of hands to see if that is quite straightforward? Okay, excellent. Jazakumullah. So you can lower your hands now. Okay, thank you very much. So that was rule number 18. We have got only a few rules left to cover within lesson 1. And on Monday, I think your teacher should have mentioned to you that you have an internal assessment. That's nothing to panic about or worry about. It's basically just going to be an opportunity for your teacher to see how well you're applying the 20 rules that you've learnt in lesson number 1. So the only thing that you need to do to prepare is if you think you're a bit shaky with some of the rules, just revisit them and go over them using the recordings. It's basically just going to be some recitation exercises for you to do on Monday's class. So don't panic too much about it. As I said, it's nothing to worry about. Okay, so what I will do is I will move on to the next rule that we are covering, and that is, if I move to slide 23. So we have over here rule number 16. We're going to be covering 2 additional rules in today's session. So rule number 16 says, do not add a blank letter. So a blank letter means a letter which carries no stroke. So you can see here, waw is blank because it carries no stroke. So a blank letter which is stroke free in the pronunciation. So do not pronounce the blank letters basically. So what I will do, again, this is quite a straightforward rule. So I will pick this time, let's have N6146. Assalamu alaikum, N6146.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. So N6146, could you please have a read of this first word over here, and just be mindful of this middle word. So this waw is blank, so we're not going to hear it in the pronunciation. So could you read this first one for me? So again, remember this waw, it's not going to be a waw madda, so we're not going to read it for 2 seconds. We are, because it's blank, it's got no stroke, we're not reading it, yeah? So the only thing we should hear is the 1 second which appears on the dhamma stroke above the alif. So li'uli. Okay, good. So exactly the same here. This waw is a blank letter. So how many seconds are we going to read this for?
1 second.
Excellent. So could you please read the whole word?
Ulaika.
Very good. Ulaika. Excellent. And the next one, please. So which letter this time is blank?
The wow.
Very good. Yeah. So read it.
Salurikum.
So this is alif. Yeah. Read that again for me.
Salurikum.
Almost there. Sa'urikum. So this ya, This is a ya madda, remember. Whilst we're doing 1 second here, because it's just a dhamma stroke, this is an example of ya madda, so it's going to be 2 seconds. And as you correctly read, this is a blank letter, so we don't hear it in the pronunciation. Sa'urikum.
Sa'urikum.
Excellent, very good. Again, which is the blank letter here?
The wow.
Very good. So how many seconds will you give to this dhamma?
1 second.
Good, okay. So how will you read this?
Ulu.
Very good. Just make this a little bit longer because this is well madda. Ulu.
Ulu.
Good. Okay, Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. So just with the final example, this is a word which appears in the Holy Quran a number of times. I believe it's about 41 times it appears in the Holy Quran. And the reason it's got a little asterisk here is because it is an exception to the rule. So the reason it's included in this lesson over here is because the alif in ana, normally we would think that this is an alif madda, we would think to prolong it for 2 seconds, but because of this particular word ana meaning I, it basically is pronounced as ana rather than ana, so we do not read the alif in when we are reciting. So it's very specific to this word only. So it's just something for you to remember if you ever come across it in the Holy Quran. Don't make the mistake of prolonging it. This alif is not going to be heard in the pronunciation. It will just be ana. So I hope, again, this is quite a straightforward rule. It's just to look out for and be mindful of what strokes are appearing on the letters. Again, as I said, we will do some practice recitation towards the end. So you'll have the opportunity to apply some of these rules. We'll do a few more examples of this rule. So if I go to my slide over here, and so you can see, again, just for ease of recognizing the blank letters, they've been highlighted in red for you. And this time I will choose another different. Let me try A5127 again. So we've got A5127. Can you hear me? No, I don't think he's there. Okay, let's have A5135. Assalamu alaikum, A5135.
Alaikum assalam.
How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Do you understand the 2 rules that we've covered so far?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. So how would you read this word?
As-salatu.
Excellent. And the next one?
Az-zakatu.
Very good. The next one?
Al-hayatu.
And the next one?
Kamishkatin.
And the last one?
Ulaika.
Okay, excellent. Do you have any questions so far about this lesson?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. That's well read. Okay, this time let's have Nasirat. Let's have N6133. Assalamu alaikum, N6133.
Alaikum salam.
Are you following the lesson okay? Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, perfect. So can you read the next line for me?
Ulil babi.
So this wow over here, remember we're not going to hear it in the pronunciation. So this is just going to be 1 second of the dhamma. Ulil babi.
Ulil babi.
Good. And again over here, how many seconds are we going to prolong over here on this alif?
1 second.
Very good. And what's the reason for that?
Because there's a blank letter next to it.
Excellent. Very good. So this word, how are you going to read this?
Ulubatiyatin.
Almost there. Just make the ba and the ya 1 second. So just make it a little bit shorter just because it's a fatha stroke. Ulubaqiyatin.
Ulubaqiyatin.
Very good. And the next one again, so we have waw, which is our blank letter. How are we going to read this word?
النجاة
Very good, excellent. And the next one, so again, this is our black letter.
سأريكم
Try again. This was a little bit too long, so try one more time.
سأريكم
Again, this wow is a little bit too long, so remember, we're just going to hear 1 second. سأريكم.
سأريكم
Good. And the next one over here, so again, just 1 second to be heard of this dhamma on the alif over here.
لأصلبنكم
Almost there. Again, remember we did the ghunna lesson where you have to make extra time and also a bit of a nasal sound when you have the noon ghunna. So لأصلبنكم.
لأصلبنكم
لأصلبنكم.
لأصلبنكم.
Okay, excellent. Do you have any questions at all that you'd like to ask?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Okay, so now let's move on to the next few lines. Let's have A5141. Assalamualaikum, A5141.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Are you following the lesson okay? Do you have anything that you want to ask?
Yes.
You do have a question, or you're okay with the lesson?
I'm okay.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so can you please carry on reading this line?
Yaraha.
Just make, so this ha, this alif, which follows the ha, is alif madda. So this is going to be 2 seconds, and this vertical fatha is also going to be 2 seconds. So make the timing on both of them equal.
Okay. Yaraha.
Very good. Okay, good. And the next one?
Naraka.
Excellent. And the next one?
Mathwahu.
Good. And the next one?
Malana.
Very good. Next one.
Arani.
Excellent. And the last one?
Atqakum.
Okay, excellent. Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Is that all making sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Now let's have N6145. Assalamualaikum, N6145.
Walaikum salam.
Could you please finish off this lesson by reading the last line?
Okay. Talimul.
Make, remember this is vertical fatha. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. So this will be tara.
Okay. Tarani.
Good. Also remember, so vertical fatha, how many seconds will this be?
2.
Good. And over here we've got a ya madda attached to the noon. So this is also going to be 2 seconds. So make sure prolongation here and also here is equal. Okay, so read this again.
Tarani.
Excellent, very good. And the next one.
Najufal. Kumu.
This is, remember, this is a sukoon. This is a dhamma, the bigger one with the larger hole in the middle. This is just a sukoon, so it's a mute letter. So we read it as najwakum.
Najwakum.
Okay, and the next one.
Mikala.
Again, so this is vertical fatha, that was fine, 2 seconds. But because we have a ya madda here, this also is going to be 2 seconds. So they both need to be equal timing. Mikala.
Mikala.
Okay, and the next one, so again we have vertical fatha and we also have alif madda. So this and this, they're going to be equal prolongation times.
Okay. Attaha.
Very good. And the next one?
Fawafahu.
Almost. So vertical fatha, which means you have to prolong 2 seconds. Try again.
Fawafahu.
Very good. And the last one, please.
Hawahu.
Okay, excellent. Do you have any questions about the lesson?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. So again, it's quite straightforward. But obviously, with all the rules that you have to remember, it can sometimes be forgotten in recitation. So just be mindful of what strokes appear above your letters. So we will move to the second rule, which we're covering in today's lesson. And that is, if I go back, and okay, so we have over here rule number 19, and what it basically says is that when you see this small hamza, which often appears over letters, so it will appear over a blank waw, or you might see it appear over a blank ya, such as in this example, and the rule basically says that do not prolong the hamza sound, more than 1 second, even if it mounts over a letter of elongation. So even if you see it on a waw or a ya, we're not prolonging it the time of that waw or ya, we are prolonging it based on what stroke appears on the hamza. So you can imagine that the hamza is sitting on the chair of the waw or the ya. So it's not the chair that's heard, it's the hamza that's going to be heard. So in this example, عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءُ. So the only thing we're paying attention to is the stroke which appears on the hamza. So this waw is effectively, it's silent, it's not going to be heard in the recitation. عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءُ. So just 1 second of the dhamma is going to be heard in this word. So I will select A5151, I think. Assalamualaikum, A5151. Assalamualaikum. Could you please read the next word, bearing in mind what we've discussed in this rule?
Shifa'u.
Excellent, very good. And what are you paying attention to in this particular word?
The wow. The hamza on the wow.
Yeah, exactly, well done. And the next one, so this time the hamza is carrying a sukoon, so you're going to have you hear a slight jerking sound when you land on the hamza. So how do you think you'll read this one?
Nabbi.
Excellent. Nabbi, so you hear a slight vibration of the hamza.
Nabbi.
And the next one, please.
Liqa'i.
Excellent, very good. So again, this stroke is relating to the hamza and not the ya. Very good. And the last one, please.
Quri'a.
Very good, excellent. So again, we're only paying attention to what's on the hamza, so it's the fatha stroke, which is 1 second. Okay, brilliant. Jazakallah, do you have any questions?
Auntie, my brother, can he do as well?
Yeah, what's his ID?
A5154.
Okay, that's fine, yeah. Yeah, so I'll select him for the next exercise. So if we go back. So is he there now, A5154?
Yeah.
Okay. So could you please read this example here?
Yabda'u.
Very good. And the next one.
Aba'una.
Make this a little bit longer because it's alif madda. Aba'una.
Aba'una.
Excellent. And the next one.
Imru'un.
Very good. And the next one.
Awliya'u. Awliya'uhu.
Very good. And this one.
Yatafayya'u.
Excellent. And the last one, please.
Shufa'una.
Again,
Una.
yeah, good. So read the whole word again.
Shufa'una.
Excellent. Okay, brilliant. Do you have any questions, A5154?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. Thank you both of you. You read very well. So A5170 has a question. We've got A5170. What would you like to ask?
Oh, I just wanted to ask, is this what you call PDF online?
I don't think this particular one is, but would you find it useful if it was? This one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. What we'll do is I'll ask Hafizab if he can have that up. At the moment, if I just show you, so I think I showed you a long way the last time. So if you just go to nqc.org.uk, it's a lot easier if you just go straight to the downloads folder. And then it will come up over here, so it's a lot easier to access this way. In the G2 course, I don't think those examples are on there, but the overall summary of what we've been doing is summarized in these tables. But I will ask if you think that will be helpful, then we can find out if we can get that uploaded on there as well, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. And Assalamu alaikum. A5130, you have a question as well?
Walaikum assalam.
What would you like to ask?
About the test we're having, how can we find our lessons to go through with our parents?
Do you mean like for revision?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you talking about like the downloads to like revise over
No,
the
because our Monday teacher, I think, said that you can go onto the pages we've learned and go off there.
What do you mean by the pages you've learned?
So like our practicing with Hamza on top of the Manqasra.
So this one that we've got at the moment here, this isn't on the website. I don't think it's contained. So if you go to this document here, there's a very short summary over it. Let me just go to the next page if I can. So this is rule. So you can see over here, this is rule number 19. So the examples that you see on this slideshow, this PDF over here is basically a summary. So all 20 of the rules, they're mentioned over here with a few of the examples that we've been using in the class. But the more detailed ones, like in this one where you have lots of practice ones, that's not on the website at the moment, but I can find out if we can get that on there. But in the meantime, this is just for the sake of practice. The best thing would be if you have this PDF downloaded and you have it like as a reference point when you're reading your Quran, so that you can just very quickly glance and check that you're fulfilling all of the requirements of all the rules. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. Jazakallah.
No problem. Okay, so let's have next N6131.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Could you please carry on reading the next line, please?
Nasha'u.
So make this a little shorter. Remember, just Dhamma is going to be considered here. So just 1 second on the Hamza, okay?
Okay. Nasha'u.
Very good. And the next one?
Jaza'uhu.
Very good. And the next one?
Tafta'u.
And the next one?
Naba'u.
What do you think you might have done wrong in this one?
I might have prolonged it for 2 seconds.
Yeah, so you made the ba a little bit too long. So remember, it's just fatha stroke. Read it one more time.
Naba'u.
Excellent. And the next one?
As-su'a afa'u.
So this letter here, this is a dhal. Al-du'afa'u.
As-su'afa'u.
So the way that you're reading it's like a sad, but this is a dhal, yeah? So al-du'afa'u, it's like a deeper D sound.
As-su'afa'u.
We will come to this lesson inshallah later, but this is basically a thicker sound than the sad. Okay. Okay. So do the next one, please.
Yadra'u.
Very good. Do you have any questions regarding this rule?
No, thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakillah. Thank you very much. Next, let's have A5158. And then we will come to N6174. A5. Assalamu alaikum. A5158. I think I may have unmuted.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Is that A5158?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, excellent. So next one, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-Bara'u.
Not ra. Remember, this is kasra, yeah? So al-bari'u.
Al-Bari'u.
Okay, good. And the next one?
Kuri'u. Kuri'a.
Yeah, good. And the next one?
Tilka'i.
Good. And the next one?
Nabbi'u.
Not also. Let me just zoom in. So that's just going to be a sukoon, which means it's a mute letter. If you have this one that's got, can you see the little circle that's just inside that dhamma? That's when it's a dhamma, but this is completely filled in, so that's an easy way to understand that it's not a dhamma. It is similar looking, but you can tell that there's a small difference between the two. So this will be nabbi'.
Nabbi'.
Good. And this one, please.
Istahzi'a.
Good. Istuhzi'a.
Istahzi'a.
Good. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
Jazakallah. Thank you very much. And next we'll have N6174. Assalamu alaikum. N6174. N6174. Make sure you're unmuted. Okay, seems to have disappeared. So I'll see if I can. Okay, there we go. N6174, is your mic working? I don't know if it is because I can't seem to hear you. Let me try. Okay, I don't think your microphone is working, but I am aware that you've not had a chance to have the mic yet, so we'll bear it in mind. But in the meantime, see if you can get your microphone fixed. Okay, let's have N6149 then. Assalamu alaikum. N6149.
I've already had a go.
Oh, you've had a go already. Have you had a go in this lesson?
No.
Okay, you can have a go in this lesson, that's not a problem. Would you like to read this example here?
Ita'i.
Very good. The next one.
Ana'i.
Very good. And this one.
Hayyi.
So this one is, because it's got a sukoon on top of the hamza, you're going to hear a slight jerk at the end. Hayyi.
Hayyi.
Good. The reason it won't be hayyi is because we are focusing on the stroke on the hamza only. Yeah. Even though there's a ya there, this ya is basically blank, and we're just going to hear what's on the stroke of the hamza. So hayyi. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Good. And the next one, please.
Yunshiyu.
Read it one more time. Just make this sheen less long because it's just a kasra.
Yunshi'u.
Good. Yunshi'u. And the next one, please.
يهيئ.
Good. So again, this one, because the hamza carries a sukoon, like this example here, it's also going to have a slight jerk when you land on the hamza. Yuhayyi.
يهيئ.
Okay, brilliant. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you very much. And I think one of the students asked what the assessment is going to be based on. So let me pull up this. So the lesson that we've been doing since the start of the term is the 20 most common errors in Tilavat, which is lesson number 1. And this is basically everything that we've done to date, and we're going to hopefully finish it by the end of the course. And the assessment is basically going to be based on these 20 rules. So the first rule, if you remember, was on making sure that when we are looking at prolongation, remembering that Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra is just 1 second. So if you can remember that rule, that's already rules 1 to 3 that are covered. So that was on your timing of your strokes. Rules 4 to 6 was vertical Fatha, vertical Kasra, and inverse Dhamma. So just remembering that for those 3 strokes, it's going to be 2 seconds of prolongation. The next rule was on huruf al-madda. So you had alif madda 2 seconds, waw madda 2 seconds, ya madda 2 seconds. And then in addition to that, we also covered the lean letters, which are waw and ya sakin. And again, with those, it was 2 seconds prolongation. So you're covered up until rules up until rule 9. And then over here, we also did the session on ghunna, so mim and noon ghunna, when they carry the shadda over here, extra emphasis and producing a nasal sound. And you're holding that sound for at least 2 seconds. So that was rule number 10. And then we've also covered this week, especially the assimilation. So this was complete assimilation, where you don't hear the noon sakin or the tanween sound when you merge with ra and lam mushaddad. And we also had partial assimilation, where you slightly hear the nasal sound from the noon sakin or tanween when you're joining with waw mushaddad or ya mushaddad. So that was rule number 12. Rule number 13 and 14 was your medium long stretch, so your mad saghir, which was over here, so 3 to 5 seconds. Rule number 14 was your extra long stretch, mad kabir, and that was 4 to 6 seconds. So just remembering that you give the right amount of time to those. And then we have over here, we covered some additional rules. Don't replace a stroke with another stroke. So basically, don't make mistakes when you're reading the stroke, because that has an impact on the meaning. And your teacher yesterday showed you just how drastic the change in meaning can be if you read the wrong stroke. So just being mindful of that. And this is what we've covered today about the blank letters. They're not pronounced. This is what we're going to do tomorrow, so we will complete that inshallah. Another one is don't split a word at the start or middle because of stopping, because of shortness of breath, or if you made a mistake. So that's another thing to consider. And this is the other one that we're doing today, which is hamza when it's on a letter of elongation. So all of these rules we've covered in quite a bit of detail, and we've had lots of practice of it. So it's just about you going away. Definitely please go and download the PDF that's available. That's a really good summary of everything we've done. I would strongly recommend that all of the PDFs that we've got online, have them downloaded and in a folder, just so it's easily available, so you can refer back to it whenever you need to revise. So those are your 20 rules. I hope that makes a bit more sense, but I think the majority of you, you're very familiar with all of the rules that we've covered. It's just a matter of making sure that you apply all of them in your recitation. So what I will do is, very quickly as well, if I just remind you, if you feel that you need to go over anything, remember that you can access the class recordings if you go here on the Nqc website, G2 classes and January till March 2018. That's where you'll have all of the recordings for the classes so far. So yesterday's session has been uploaded as well. And also over here, you can see that if you want to get notifications of when the classes are uploaded, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that will notify you every time a video gets uploaded. So please do take advantage of those resources, and I will definitely find out if we can have a few more of these PowerPoints uploaded so you can do extra practice for your assessment. But again, it's nothing to worry about. It's just for more for us to see where you are in your recitation and how you've progressed since the start of the course. So after this assessment, inshallah, we will have another one where we will have hopefully a different teacher from the other teaching group come in and assess you. And then in the final week, hopefully, of March. So the last session is on the 30th of March. In that week 12, we will hopefully have the head teacher or an external examiner assess you. So with each sort of 3 or 4 weeks, we're hoping to see lots of progression. So with each assessment, it will become a bit more difficult each time around. But again, nothing to worry about. Just go over your 20 rules and inshallah you'll be okay. So what we're going to do is in the last few minutes of the lesson, we're going to do a bit of recitation practice. So I'm going to select another student this time. Let's have N6 151. Okay, N6 151, are you there?
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Please could you start reading? So this is from part 27 of the Holy Quran. Could you start reading with the first verse over here?
Okay. Auzubillahi minash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Can I restart?
Yeah, sure.
Qala fama hatbukum ayyuhal mursalun.
Okay, good. So the timings were actually perfect. There was no problem with the timing that you gave to the strokes. It's just over time, hopefully, to develop a bit more fluency, yeah? So the whole verse flows a little bit better. So قَالَ فَمَا خَطْبُكُمْ أَيُّهَا الْمُرْسَلُونَ. Okay? Can you continue reading up until the end of this verse?
قالوا إنا أرسلنا إلى قوم مجرمون.
Just read the final word again for me.
مجرمين.
Good. I think you read that as moon, so mujrimin. The only thing I would say for this verse is, first of all, you have your nun ghunna here, so a lot more stress on that letter. So inna. Good. And the other thing that I would say is because we have an example of mad saghir, so we have your medium long stretch here. Give it a bit more time, at least 3 seconds, because we want to differentiate that sound with just the plain vertical fatha, okay? So inna and qalu for at least 3 seconds, and also here ursilna at least 3 seconds. So can you try and read that verse again? Just give a bit more time to all of these choti, mad or mad saghir or medium long stretch.
قالوا إنا أرسلنا إلى قوم مجرمين.
Okay, just read this word again, please.
أرسلا.
So this over here, this lam, it's got a sukoon on it, so it's a muted letter. It's got no stroke, so it will be ursilna.
Ursilna.
Okay, good. And also over here, when you're joining this meme with this meme mushaddad, again, we want a lot more emphasis on this. Qawmim mujrimin.
Qawmim mujrimin.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, Jazakillah, thank you very much. Let's have N6152. Assalamu alaikum. Are you N6152?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. So, could you please continue from here, please, up until this verse?
Yes. Li nu.
Also, starting with A'udhu Billah and Bismillah, please.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Linus la alayhi he ma jaratan min
Okay, so in the places that I've highlighted, and also over here, I think, what I want you to do is I'm going to break up the words, and I want you to tell me on each word what stroke is on the letters. So if we start with this one here, what's the first stroke under the lam? Can you remember the name? Or can you tell me how many seconds? So it's a kasra, this one, yeah? Underneath is the kasra. And above here, this round one, this is a...
Wow.
This is a dhamma. Okay, so it produces an u sound. Kasra is an e, dhamma is u, and we have fatha, which is on the top, and that's an a sound, okay? So what I want you to do is, on this first word, you can see that all of these letters are going to have just 1 second because it's got kasra, dhamma, kasra, fatha, yeah? So just 1 second. Linursila.
Okay. Linusera.
Good. So what you're doing before, you're prolonging these letters a little bit too much. So just 1 second because it's a short vowel stroke. Linursila.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the next one, so how many seconds on this ayn do you think?
2.
Ayn is just going to be 1 second. Okay. Because it's fatha, just 1 second. Again, and then on this next one, this is going to be 2 seconds because we have a ya lean. Okay, so when we join it together, it will be alay. 2 seconds, 1 second. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. So when you join this all together, can you read the word?
Alayhim.
Just make the ayn a little bit shorter. Alayhim.
Alayhim.
Good. Now join these two together. So we have linursila alayhim.
Linusera alayhim.
Good. In the next word over here, tell me which of these letters is going to be 1 second of prolongation. So in this word here.
He.
Good. So he is just going to be 1 second. He.
Hija.
Good. So, yeah.
Tan.
Good. So he is 1 second. Ja is 2 seconds because of alif madda. Ra is 1 second. And then tan we have tanween. Hijaratan. So read that word for me.
Hijaratan.
Excellent. So now that you've identified all the timings in this line over here, I want you to read from start to the end of this.
Linusi. La.
So again, this noon, it's way too long. Linursila.
Linusila alayhim hijaratan.
Okay, that was better. Linursila alayhim hijaratan.
Linusila alayhim hijaratan.
So again, that one messed up a little bit. So first of all, this lam, remember, it's just 1 second. It's becoming too long. I think sometimes in the tune it can have an impact on how you read the strokes. So just read it plainly. لِنُرْسِلَ عَلَيْهِمْ حِجَارَةً.
لنرسل عليهم حجارة
حِجَارَةً.
حجارة.
Okay. And what about over here on the final word? How will you read this? So what you're going to do is you're going to join hijaratam and you're going to join it to this mim mushaddad and then finish the word. So starting from here.
حجارة من سيس.
Okay. So here, this tanveen over here, do you see the 2 strokes of fatha on top of this ta?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you join this with the mim mushaddad, you're not going to hear the tanveen sound. So it's not going to be hijaratan min. It's going to become hijaratam min. Okay, so you're not going to hear the tanveen sound. It will be joined and merged into this mim mushaddad. So it will be hijaratam min teen.
حجارة من
Try again. So you're not going to hear the tan. Tam min teen.
حجارة من
حجارة من طين.
حجارة
Min. So this is not going to be done. You're not going to hear the N sound, but it's going to be replaced by a thumb. Can you hear that in the mic? Min.
Yeah.
Okay, so hijaratan min teen. Okay, that's fine. I would definitely say, have you got the PDFs downloaded on your computer at the moment?
No.
No? So I would definitely say if you go to the website and make sure that you download the ones, you can go to this first group, which is for the G1 group, which we've used as well. They've got all of the lessons right from the beginning. So definitely download those and please go through them. At the moment, the biggest point for improvement is to get the timings right for you, okay? So that's all the strokes, fatha, dhamma, kasra, when you have huruful madda, etc. Just revisit that, and also if you go to the recordings from the start of the course, if you just listen back to them and just work on the timings for now, okay?
Yes.
Okay, Jazakallah, thank you very much. Okay, we'll have, I think, one more student before we wrap up. From Atfal, if I can have, okay, there's a question. A5161 N6146, you have a question?
My question is that in my house I have got the book that has the the lessons.
Okay, that's brilliant.
That do I still need to download all the PDF files from the Nqc website?
So the book that you've got, that's going to have the PDFs that's in the G1 section. So that's all of the sort of basic rules. So you don't need to download any of these because they're from this book that you have already. But for the G2 ones over here, they're presented in a different format. They're still based on the same book, but the PDFs that you'll find here, you won't find written in the same way in that book. So like this one over here that we've been using in the lessons, this is a summary of lesson number 1, which isn't laid out in the same way in the book as far as I'm aware. So I would say don't worry about downloading G1, but you can download the 4 that are available over here in the G2 section. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, brilliant. Jazakallah. Okay, let's get one more student. Okay, A1162. Assalamualaikum. A1162. A1162 or N6130. Okay, no, let's try someone else. Let's have A5 1 4 6. Assalamualaikum. A5 1 4 6. A5 1 4 6. Are you there?
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Please could you read this verse from here, please, up until the end?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مصومة عند ربك للمسرفين.
So that was almost all correct. The only thing was that on this waw, you prolonged it more than 1 second. So how long should this stroke of fatha be on the waw?
1 second.
Excellent. So read the verse again. Just pay attention to that part.
مصومة عند ربك للمسرفين.
Okay, good. And if you can continue on to the next verse, please.
فأخرجنا من كان فيها من المؤمنين.
Okay. So this here, can you see that this qaf, it's attached to an alif? Can you see that there?
Yes.
Yeah. So because of that, this is an alif madda. So we're going to give 2 seconds to it. So it will be فأخرجنا من كان. Okay. So just a little bit longer over here. If you read the verse again, please.
فأخرجنا من كان فيها من المؤمنين.
Okay, brilliant. And if you can read just up to here, and then we will finish off.
فما وجدنا فيها غير بيت من المسلمين.
Okay, just put a bit more emphasis when you join this with the mim mushaddad. Baytim minal muslimin.
بيت من المسلمين.
Okay, Jazakallah, that was well read, so thank you very much for that. Jazakallah. And I'm going to select N6165. If I can find her. Okay, let's have N6169. Let's have N6169. N6169.
Alaikum salam.
Would you like to read this prayer with me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, Allahumma arhamni.
Allahumma arhamni
Bil Quranil Azim.
bil Quranil Azim.
Bil Quranil Azim.
Bil Quranil Azim.
Very good. Waja'alhu li
Waja'alhu li
imaman wa
imaman wa
nuran wa
nuran wa
hudan wa rahmah.
hudan wa rahmah.
Okay, very good. And the translation, would you like to read it by yourself?
Yeah. Oh Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you very much. That was really well read. So Jazakumullah everybody for attending today's session, and inshallah I'll see you in tomorrow's class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.